Hi, I'm Michael from Moat Monster Games, and today I am looking at Hecatomb. It is a discontinued game by Wizards of the Coast from 2005, so nearly 20 years old. Now, in this game, you are an Endbringer. Your job is to end the world, and you do this by claiming the souls of as many people as you can. First person to 20 ends the world for their respective elder god. Now, I didn't play this when it first came out. I think it was a bit of a crowded time for me. I had a lot of other games that I was playing. I was very heavily invested into Ravnica, which came out at the same time. I was in tournaments and stuff. I absolutely loved it. The block that got me back into Magic. And the other thing was I was playing a lot of D&D miniatures. These are two sets that also came out at the same time as Hecatomb. And this is a game that I love that I'll do a video of on another time. So back to Hecatomb. Now, I didn't play this at the time. I still to this day think it's a very, very dull box. I don't think it's eye-catching. It wouldn't have made me pick it up off the shelf. I mean, Magic was still like full colour art. I mean, it's beautiful. But this is just a browny, maroony box. Now, if I had picked it up and looked at the back, I would have seen that actually the cards are an interesting shape. They're pentagon cards. I wouldn't have necessarily guessed straight away that they were plastic, which I'm about to come to. But yeah, okay, so if I'd looked at the back, I probably would have picked it up. Now, at least I would have given it a try. Now, it wasn't popularity that killed this because it only lasted for 2 years. One main set and then 2 expansions with another expansion that was on the way. It was actually the price of plastic that killed the game. So no matter how much you try and end the world, the price of plastic will end your game. Now, the raise in oil prices led to a raise in plastic prices, and Wizard couldn't come to an agreement with the people that made their cards, and as a result, they had to end the game. Now, I'm still not sure about the plastic cards. Obviously, mechanically for the game, they're great. It works perfectly. But it's the quality of the plastic cards that I'm unsure of. Now, I don't know whether it's because they're 20 years old, but where I've bought a lot of boosters and a lot of starters off of eBay, one of the problems that I regularly find is when I will bust open a packet, the tops are chipped. I don't know whether you can see, there's like a nick in the top, and it happens all the time. You'll bust open a booster, and before you've got to the cards, little tiny pieces of plastic will rattle out. Now again, I'm not sure if it's because it's a 20-year-old game, and maybe the plastic wasn't built to last. They've certainly been stored well, the cards. I can't complain about that. They're all still sealed. But lots of little fragments break. But it isn't just little fragments. Sometimes, occasionally, you'll open a pack and it'll almost be bent up inside. Now, again, very lucky it's only happened to commons. I've had a couple of rares with nicks in the top, but it makes you wonder, like, were they built to last? Obviously, you know, foil Magic cards bend, but other than that, the cards last. These, I'm not so sure of. And the other thing, before I open this, is they're really stuck together. Every time I open a booster or a starter, it's like a block of plastic that you have to prise open. However, without saying any more, let's bust it open. Okay, so busting open the packet, if I can get it open. Right. Now, you would have, in theory, been able to take one of these to a tournament and just play with this. So, inside we have rule book. I've read it cover to cover a couple of times. I think it is very well laid out. Decks were made of 40 cards, so 40 card starter would have been perfect. However, after this set, for the next 2 sets, they increased the minimum deck count to 60 cards. We have a punch out token sheet for keeping count of your souls. Got lots of these. And then we have the cards itself. So already, before opening it, I can see a tiny, tiny slither where there is at least one cracked card in there. But fortunately, it doesn't appear to be the rare. Because I still collect these. I'm trying to get a complete set. Okay, so the protective piece of cardboard that doesn't work. So first of all, the art is really gory, and it always has been. I think at the time it probably would have put me off. I'm now a lot more accepting of different art styles now, but yeah, I think that probably would have put me off. However, look how cool the hexagon is. Pentagon is. Look how cool the pentagon is. I love it. And you would have then put these on top of each other to have create your monstrous abomination as you play the cards. I quite like them. I like them. I like the art, but as said earlier, the cards are really stuck together. Mr. Bananas, the absolutely terrifying evil monkey, Roach Keeper, the Elevator, Daughter of Blood. Now, I don't know, I've not played enough to know whether or not this would be competitive or not if I busted this open at a tournament. But I do know that I wish I'd given it a chance years ago. I wish I'd come across it earlier. Oh, wait, lots of little nicked ones. Now, this is illustrated by Ben Templesmith. And I think for me, his art is there's another one. His art is one of the real selling points. And the reason I say that is because I absolutely loved his art in 30 Days of Night. Truly terrifying. And you can see the influence and the style there. I just, yeah. His art would have sold it to me. The rest of the art, as awesome as it is, I think might have originally have put me off. But ultimately, sometimes it's not about that. It's about how well it plays. And by all things considered, I think it plays really, really well. A bit slow to start with as you're building up your creatures, making them bigger and bigger. But you know, the bigger they get, the more they attack and reap souls. I do. I think it's a good game. I'd like to play it more. But it's just storing the cards is an absolute chore. There's no method of storing them. There's no way of putting them into a binder, at least that I can find. So you can flick through your collection. They're a funny size. When you do flick through your collection, they're all stuck together, which is also a pain. But the game itself, the game is great. It's just a pain to store and a little bit of a pain to open because it's really disappointing when you get broken ones. Right. They don't fit. They don't fit. They're all bendy. They don't fit. Right. Can we sleeve them? It'd have to be a see-through sleeve, of course. Nope. they don't fit. They don't fit. Make a deck of that. They don't fit. And finally, will it fit? How are you supposed to put that in a binder? They don't fit. What they did need to do was invent something where they would fit. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. That was Hecatomb, and I'm Michael from Moat Monster Games.